So, this is gonna be some very exciting times. It is the last map of the day. One of these two players will be in the 2014 Season 2 Challenger League of WCS EU. Very, very happy. It's been an awesome night of casting, but let's introduce these two players. Spawning in the top right-hand position, we have the pink Protoss player, representing Alien Invasion. It is Kerr. And his opponent to the lower left, the blue Zerg, representing Vega Squadron, JonnyREcco. Waystation has two potential spawn locations, top left, lower right, or lower left, top right. One, it makes it a macro map, huge rush distance. The other one gives it a short rush distance and makes it a lot more aggressive. Ooh. So which way is this going to go? Well, they're in the close spawns, aggressive play is favoured. So that's going to be a lot of fun. JonnyREcco, of course, generally is considered more of a macro Zerg, although happy to open up with a 14 pool there. No, 15 pool there. All looking good, so standard stuff. Meanwhile, Kerr, he's going for a gateway into a gas. Also very normal. Being a best of 3, not overwhelming pressure yet, but a lot. The winner of this game obviously has a nice advantage going into game 2 and 3. And with a spot in WCS EU Challenger on the line, that is quite a lot of pressure. I know that JonnyREcco has never managed to break through one of these qualifiers into Challenger League. What I'm less sure about is whether Kerr has. I don't believe he has, but I'm not 100% on that, and I can't check while I'm in game, unfortunately. JonnyREcco, of course, is an English player, so secretly I am hoping he does well. He's a very talented Scottish player who's been around the scene for a long time. Kerr, I've cast less of, but he's gone through some really tough opponents throughout this evening. Kerr took out Salt the Wound, and before that took out Madals. JonnyREcco has had to face off against Elfie, who he beat in the round of 16. And in the round of 32, and in the round of 16 he took on fellow UK player Orc, where he won 2-1. So tough bracket, and it's the first qualifier, so it usually is. Recco adding in those 2 hatches now, having seen the expansion, I believe, with this Overlord. Happy to confidently go and take that. Only the 1 gas here for Kerr at the moment, though. So the thing you've got to be very aware of as a Zerg player is that if you go hatch pull and you only see the 1 gas, which JonnyREcco can't quite check from there, but I wouldn't be surprised to move that Overlord in, is that, especially with the Chrono Boost coming on here, a lot of Zealots could be on the way. So we'll probably see 3 gates, or 3 additional gates be added in, maybe even 4 additional gates, and this base be the target. There's already a probe there ready for the pylon, and that would not surprise me in the slightest. So there's the 4th gateway being added. Recco still hasn't moved this Overlord in just to double check what's coming, but that is almost certainly what's going to be on the cards. A lot of Zealots coming through. So the important thing here is Recco has to either get roaches out in order to defend that, or alternatively, he's got to get enough lings that he can deny this pylon. Quick little pause, please. Coming through there from Recco. He is just moments away from scouting that pylon. He sees the probe, so he should know there's something there, and he is going to be able to spot it, I'm fairly certain of. So both players are ready. Recco comes in, he finds that pylon. If he takes that down, this is a big win for him. He already knows it's there and got it pretty much as early as possible. Kerr now attempting to get another pylon through. Recco has moved forward, sees there's no second gas, and Rotron immediately started. He knows what's coming. Delaying that pylon is really important. He needs to find the next one now, as soon as possible. Spots it up here. That's his next target. This build works if you get a sizable number of Zealots out fast. If you're not able to get those Zealots out, and that critical mass of Zealots out, the Lings can actually overpower them. So another pylon goes out. Kerr still not anywhere close to supply block though. Neither player producing anything at the moment. The Mothership Core racking up 6 kills, 7 roaches on the way, and as long as those roaches get out, it's fairly easy to stop this. So Recco just running these Lings around. He knows they're going to die, but what he's aiming to do is delay these roaches, or delay these zealots as long as possible to get the roaches out. And he's achieved it perfectly. This is now a big warp in of zealots that is not going to be able to do much at all. The roaches coming from both angles. Going to the natural is actually quite a bold move, not something that many players do, but the roaches now backing away. Good little time warp, going to shut out a lot of them, but there's still so many roaches. 3 get pincered, which is important, but 5 more on their way out. REcco should be good to hold this now. It's very unlikely that this is going to be able to really shut down anything much with so many more roaches on the way and only more zealots warping through. A queen could potentially die here, just trying to back away, get to safety. The roaches chasing after it. May actually opt to transfuse, just try and do something before it dies with that energy. So nicely done there. Still more zealots coming through. No additional gas is taken as of yet by Co. He's only just grabbing those now. REcco's drone count is pretty low, which is a little frustrating for him. He's only at 29 drones, but able to produce a good number of roaches. 6 on the field, slowly dealing with these zealots, but more and more keep coming through. Handful of lings also on their way, just to act as a bit of a buffer for these roaches to get a bit more damage out. But still, they're pressuring through. No more game warped in yet, but 6 more roaches still on their way. Co has delayed a lot of his tech by doing this. The roach run only just now coming through. And the third hatch is still up. More zealots on their way though, more pressure coming through, and this is really, really annoying. Incredibly frustrating to try and get through. Queen trying to take down that mothership core, but unable to at the moment. And the time warp is actually a really important element to allowing these zealots to do very much at all. Without the queen, also the mothership core can just keep working away. 15 kills on that mothership core is just really frustrating. Basically that mothership core racking up a fair few kills on these drones. REcco needs to start droning again heavily, is doing that. Warp Prism coming through behind this, so Sentry Drop's going to be following it up. But overall, REcco defending that nicely. Had to produce maybe a few more units than he ideally wanted to. But keeping the third hatch up was the critical piece to the puzzle. Another roach going down here. Not able to duke it out very well with those zealots, but his buddy's coming along to come and save him. Mothership Core may be mean and kill the roach, but not going to do so. Mothership Core heading back. It's expended a lot of energy, and what that means is that actually taking out Photon Overcharge is not really a possibility. REcco just going to check for a third base, going to see that it's not coming, and needs to be aware that basically there's a follow-up. He should be able to see these sentries, and it's really important that the sentries are spotted. Immortal spotted instantly, sees a lot of sentries. Immortal sentry all in on its way. This is a mega important scout that it's seen, and this supply block is infuriating for Kerr. The fact he's got that supply block actually puts quite a big delay in and gives more time for REcco to prepare for an immortal sentry push. And what's interesting with an immortal sentry push against REcco is he's probably one of the best Zergs at defending it, because he was always being a macro Zerg who played in Wings of Liberty. Immortal Sentry all-in is something you know how to stop. But Kerr, he's done a lot of pressure already. The drone count and the timing of this push is a bit off. The Warp Prism had to be made because the proxy pylons were destroyed, and that makes it a bit harder. Hydroden probably will be coming down now. Usually a great response up against, obviously, a Immortal Sentry play. Road speed going to be helpful too, but a lot of probes being taken down here because the island base has been taken. Something which is another unique feature of this map is that island base to the back. Only accessible, obviously, if you've got a Warp Prism or something to get probes over there. But also going to be very hard for REcco to take that down because he's got no way to get there himself. May Nidus later or go for Mutalisks, but for the moment, can't do much. And this is going to make it quite hard to read because I don't believe REcco's seen it. His Overlord has been killed in between here, so I don't know if he's aware that base has come down, but he keeps checking for a third up in this position, and this makes it very frustrating. Robotics Bay on its way through, and therefore we're going to be going up to some Colossus tech over on Kerr's side. He's got quite a sizable force up now. Supply overall is in JonnyREcco's favour, and that's this Hallucinated Phoenix just keeping an eye on anything that could be coming. Speed, roach speed, both on their way through. A quick little check in the army size from that Ling. Rico's still not positioning anything to go and check that island expansion yet. Instead, just getting up a much more sizable force of roaches and lings. Has roach speed now. Neither player any upgrades yet, although Kerr is chrono boosting out both blink and the +1. More roaches on their way, and Rico looks like he's wanting to barrel down the front. Up to 147 supply. A lot of roaches in here, but there is a good number of sentries, and of course those 3 immortals, plus a mothership core that's about to max out on 200 energy, so has 2 photon overcharges, or like a photon overcharge and a time warp. Glad to see the hydrogen coming through, as well as this overseer going to go and check things. Needs to know where all the money's coming from, and Rico should be able to assume now that there is a third base, because even though he can't see it, there's just too much production. At 15 minutes, an immortal sentry push would have come, if that's what was coming. Take out of that overseer, denies any more scouting. Rico still doesn't know about that back base. Taking those additional gases now, trying to find anywhere he can push in. Trying to bait out a couple of force fields actually. Not sure if the Colossus was seen, but if it was, that's a great little scout coming through. War Prison, still getting ready to move forward. We got a lot of roaches, a lot of lings here. Aspire now on its way, and that's the vulnerability of this island expansion. Mutas can really wreck your day. 4th base about to get taken by JonnyREcco. Needs that up, but he's been on equal bases for a while, and those are great force fields by Kerr. They are absolutely exceptional force fields, trapping a lot of roaches in there. 9 of them are just for the slaughter. The Colossi seen, and I don't think Rico's got enough to be able to defend this. He's down at 79 to 107 supply, but he's going to go for the counterattack. Can he pick off these reinforcements in time? Kerr going to have to come back to deal with these roaches, but that forces the fight. And Rico can't take this. Kerr takes game number 1 of this best of 3 with that sneaky island expansion. And we are going to be getting into our next game soon.